Hello, and welcome back. This is week 3 of my 90-day sprint. Before we get going into today's topic, let's talk about what the 90-day sprint is. Again, if you don't know me, my name is Tian Connaughton. I am a designer, technical editor, author. I wrote a book called Cardigans for Everybody because everybody is worthy, and that book is about really knitters and crocheters understanding their bodies and making sweaters to fit that body that they're in right now. It's about using swatches, math, schematic to modify any pattern to fit your body. So if you have big arms, if you have a short torso, you have long arms, you are short, you are fat, you are skinny, you're whatever. If you are not a standard size body, this book will help you to adjust any pattern. Even those patterns that are size inclusive might not fit you because those are based on standard sizing and you're not a standard size. So this book will help you with all the techniques, the strategies to help you modify sweaters to fit the body you're in, so that you don't have to go on no more diets. You don't have to worry about, oh, I need to lose those extra 20 baby pounds or anything like that. Embrace the body you're in right now and make sweaters to fit, like I'm doing. And I'll talk more about this sweater in a later video. So I'm doing a 90-day sprint for my business. And what the 90-day sprint is all about is a way to really focus in on the business in a very short-term way. It's a way to boost visibility, consistency. It's a way for you to really step out of your everyday mundane that you're doing for your business and really take some very unusual steps that you probably wouldn't have thought of. And this is for 90 days that you're holding yourself accountable. So you are going to try different things in your business. You're going to step out of your comfort zone and you're going to do tasks that's going to push your business forward. And that's what I'm doing for these 90 days during my 90-day sprint. And I'm on week 3 and it's going well. Last week we talked about how to track your progress, because if you don't know what you're doing and the effect that it has, you're really not going to know if you should continue to do what you're doing or if you should try something new. And really this 90-day sprint time frame is for you to build some momentum, to try some things, and make sure that your ideal audience know what you're offering. Sometimes we think, oh, well, I do X, Y, and Z. I'm a designer. I'm a technical editor. Everybody knows. And the reality is that people don't actually know. Your ideal audience don't actually know what you do or how what you do will support them. So during this 90-day sprint, if you decide to come along on this journey with me, you can really build some visibility, some momentum, get some consistency going in your business, and really talk to your ideal audience and get clear on that messaging. The messaging is so crucial to your business because it's what people are going to know you for. And by dedicating 90 days to clear and consistent and actionable goals, I'm able to create lasting habits. You know, some of the things that I'm doing right now are things that I'm really loving. I am loving coming on here and talking about what I'm doing in my business. I love talking about different aspects of, you know, what I'm working on, how I'm driving growth in my business, so that maybe you can learn something. Maybe you can say, oh, well, this might work for me, and try it. It's also a way for me to see how I want to pivot in my business. I've been doing this for almost 20 years and I've made some changes over the years. And I think at this point during the fall season of 2024, I'm really thinking about, okay, what's next for me? where do I want to go next? What do I want to do? Do I want to write more books? Do I want to write more patterns? Do I want to work with more third-party publication? What do I want the next season of my business to look like? And this 90-day sprint is really helping me to understand what's working, what isn't, not just what's working, but what is working that I actually like. Because there's a lot of things that work in my business that I just don't like anymore. And it's just a matter of, what do I do? Do I keep doing it even though I'm not really feeling it anymore? Or do I pivot away from it? And sometimes that decision to stop doing something is very scary. Sometimes the decision to just walk away from something that you know is working really, really well is really tough. But it is essential that you journal on it, you meditate on it, you do what you need to do to really figure out, is this something that I want to step away from? And what else would I step into? Because at the end of the day, if you are doing something that you hate, that's taking you away from something else that you could be doing that you love. And I learned that when I stopped doing tech editing for publications, I decided that, even though that was a big chunk of my revenue, I stepped away from that because I wanted to do more writing. I wanted to do more independent work. I wanted to work with more yarn shops. I wanted to work with more knitters and crocheters to help them find that confidence in their bodies, to figure out what they want to, what they want to wear, and how to make their clothes actually fit. So when I stepped away from a very good, lucrative business, tech editing for third-party publication, magazines, books, and things like that, it opened me up to be able to do other things that I didn't know I'd be so passionate about. I knew I loved it, but because I didn't have the time to do it, I didn't know it would work out the way it has. Okay? So sometimes you just need to figure out, do I need to step away from something so I can step into something else? Okay? So this week, part of my 90-day sprint is to talk about focus. I talk about focus a lot inside my membership, Pattern Partnership, and I talk about focus a lot with my one-on-one clients, because for me and for you, for a lot of folks, we are multi-passionate. There's a lot of things that we love to do and we can do really, really well. And because we can do so much, we try to spread ourselves really thin on different things in our business. So for example, you might be great at knitting patterns, tech editing, testing, all these things. But if you're spreading yourself really, really thin, you're not really understanding what is going to work best. So I usually tell my audience, you don't have to give up everything, but we need to focus in on one thing and go really, really hard at one thing. You might not give it 100%. Maybe you'll give that thing 80%, and then the other things that you like, your other hobbies, your other interests, get 20%. But go hard on one thing and see if it's going to actually work. And that's what I've done in my business for years and years and years. When I stopped trying to do everything and started focusing on just one thing at a time, I not only saw my revenue increase, I started having more time to play around with things that I didn't have time to do before, right? I started doing things that were not knitting and crocheting. I started having hobbies. I started exploring different things within the fiber industry. Because I was just focusing on one thing for the business, I was able to just do that business thing, that aspect, and move on. Because it was so focused, I was just doing it really quickly. It wasn't consuming my entire life. It wasn't like I was trying to do 50 million things at once. I was just doing that one thing, doing it really well, and then go off to explore other things. So an example would be when I was designing for third-party publication. That's pretty much all I was doing. I might have put out like 1 or 2 patterns at a time, self-publish it, But the majority of it was me working with third-party publications. I would submit, my proposal, multiple proposals to a call for submission. While that submission was, in review, I'd be working on something else that came in that got approved. And it was just like that. And I knew that if I submitted X amount of patterns, I knew a percentage that would get accepted. And because I was only working on publications, I would have time to work on that. And that really brought in a lot of income because third-party publication pays well. It pays better than trying to self-publish a pattern. It pays a lot better than trying to resell a $5 pattern. Because with a third party, if you're doing a sweater, you can make $300, $400, $800, $1,000, depending on the complexity of the pattern, the exclusivity period, the publication itself, different things like that. So for a long time, that's what I was doing, and I was focused on that. And then once I had enough revenue stacked up, I could try different things, right? I could branch out. Once I had that system in place, because I was so focused, I had the proposal, I had the pattern writing, I had the mailing in the sample, I had all that locked down in a system. So that, when I got accepted, I knew exactly what to do next. I've worked with that publication before, so I knew exactly what the templates would look like. I knew all that stuff. So it wasn't like this massive undertaking, as I kept going. And that's what really helped. The focusing really helped me to understand, like, if I'm going to work with knit picks and we crochet, then I'm going to have this system, I'm going to have this process. This is their timeline. And I would just bang those out so that I can have time to do all the things that I want to do. And the thing about being focused is it could be very boring. And I talk about systems and processes a lot. And a lot of folks are like, oh, that's so boring. I like being creative. Yeah, I like being creative too. And with being focused on something, I can get the work done. I could do the money part of it. I could do the revenue generating part of it, get that out of the way, and have time to still go explore and play and try new stitch patterns and explore different techniques and different crafts and hobbies and things like that. So even though being hyper focused can be boring, it's like, ugh, it has some advantages. Because if you're trying to make a full-time living as a fiber artist, there's going to be a lot of things that are not going to just be fun all the time. And we need to understand, yeah, it's a business. It's not going to be all fun. But you can infuse some fun into it when you have time. And when you're making money, you can have more time. Okay? So that's my focus for this week. So that's what I'm really honing in on, is my focus. And 90 days is not a long time to be like, oh, I'm getting bored. 90 days is a good chunk of time to really understand, okay, I'm going to focus on this task of my business. And I'm going to look at my matrix. I'm going to look at all the things that I'm doing, and I'm going to take notes. I'm going to understand what's working, what isn't. Because I want to understand, what do I love about my business? Which aspects of it do I like? And which I don't? And if I'm not focused, if I'm just all over the place, I'm not going to have that clarity. And with focus, you're going to understand it so much faster. You're going to see results so much quicker. Because you're not just like throwing a whole bunch of stuff at the wall. You're throwing a specific thing at the wall. And you're just understanding, how does that react? If I throw this thing this way, it reacts this way. Do it this way, it reacts this way. Versus if I'm throwing like a million things at the wall, I'm looking at every different direction and I'm not understanding what's working, right? This thing might be doing really, really well and this one isn't, but I can't focus on this because I'm still looking at the third thing. So it's really about, okay, what do I like in my business? So if you are designing for third parties, if you are designing sweaters, socks, all that stuff, focus on one thing. Just give it 90 days. 90 days is not forever. It's a short period of time where you're just like, okay, blinders on. I'm that horse in the race. I got my blinders on and I'm just looking ahead at this one thing and see how it works, right? Put all your 80% energy into that one thing and see how it works. Play with other things during 20% of the time, but you want your 80% to be super hyper focused on one aspect of your business. And I've mentioned this before. If you are a designer and you're focusing on shawls, sweaters, socks, all this stuff, try doing just one of them for 90 days. Designing just one of those types of accessories, right? Try marketing just one category of your design. Maybe you're just going to market shawls for the next 90 days. And when we talk about focus, yeah, you might just be talking about shawls for 90 days, but people are going to buy other things that you offer. People are going to go see what else you have out there. That doesn't mean that's all that you're doing or people are going to see. It's just now they're like associating with this thing. Now you're becoming known for something. Right now, I'm known for that sweater girl that talks about being fat and making sweater to fit her body and helping to encourage other folks to make sweaters for their bodies. That's what I want to be known for. That's what I'm known for. I'm known for being size inclusive. I'm known for garments that fit, that always fit, and helping you, encouraging you, empowering you. So when folks are talking about sweaters, my name come up. When they're talking about being encouraging and empowering, my name come up. Okay? So what circles is your name coming up in? What are you known for? And what do you want to be known for? Maybe right now you're probably known for something and you're like, I don't want to be known for that anymore. I don't want to be the sock girl or the sweater girl or the shawl girl. Maybe I want to be known for something else. 90 days is a great way to change your perspective, change the view of your audience, to build your brand. We'll talk about branding in another episode, but it's a great way for you to figure out who are you? Who do you want to serve? And build that connection with your audience. And that starts with being super focused. So that's it. If you're in this 90-day sprint journey with me, what are you focusing on? What's that one thing that you're giving 80% of your time, effort, energy into? What do you want to be known for? And if you're just starting out, go for it. Drop me a line, comment below, let me know how I can support you as we go on this business thing together. Because this business thing is no joke. I am seeing a lot of people leaving. And while it's sad, I totally understand. Like I said, I've been doing this for almost 20 years, and it's because I've been able to pivot with the times, change as needed. Sometimes it's super hard and sometimes it's super easy, but it's always been worth it for me. So if you're in the space where you're like, I just need to try something different, give the 90-day sprint a chance. Let's figure out how to do this thing together. I have other videos I've done previously. Go back, watch those. If you have questions, feel free to email me. I'm on Instagram, DM me there. But if you are on your last straw and you're just like, I just need to figure out this business thing, give the 90-day sprint a chance. Give yourself 3 months to figure out what's next. Okay? I'm going to keep knitting, and I cannot wait to see all that you do. Bye for now.